I'm Doug Britton. I'm the Director of Family Life Ministries at Heights Church. Welcome to today's devotional. I would like to start out today by telling you a little bit about a trip I took many years ago. I was part of a church group that was going to the Holy Land. We were going to Israel. But we stopped off for a day or two in Rome on the way over. And in Rome, I still remember this experience of walking through Rome, being so impressed by it. We went to the Colosseum. We went through a lot of old ruins. And then as we were in the middle of the ruins, we walked around a corner and there was a pile of rubble, of rocks. And the guide said, "That's Caesar's grave." Now, I don't know if it really was Caesar's grave or not. It certainly wasn't very dignified. But I found myself thinking, Caesar was so powerful, a couple thousand years ago. I mean, he had amazing power, and look at how he ended up. And then I found myself thinking about Rome itself. If you were a Roman citizen back then, you probably thought that your civilization was going to be eternal, that Rome had conquered so much of the world. I can imagine somebody thinking, I'm high time, but Rome's going to be around forever. Well, the whole empire, as you know, collapsed. And then I thought about God, and I thought about how God is so different. Unlike Caesar, he is eternal. He lives outside of time. And in fact, God created time, he created space, he created everything that exists. Look at your own country, look at your own politicians. Countries, politicians, money, health, even friends come and go. But God is everlasting. God is amazing. He is everlasting. He is eternal. Well, that ties into what we've been doing the last few days. We've been talking about names of God in the Bible. And these different names that God gave himself reveal different aspects of his nature. We learn about God as we see how he describes himself by giving himself different names. So today let's look at a name that first appears in Genesis 21 verse 33, El Olam. This means the everlasting God. I love Psalm 102. The same name shows up different parts of the Bible, different areas. And in Psalm 102 verses 25 through 27 it says, "Of old you laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the work of your hands. They will perish, but you will remain. They will all wear out like a garment. You will change them like a robe, and they will pass away. But you are the same, and your years have no end." God's years have no beginning and no end. God just is. And that is so different from the way we are living and the way we think about life so often. We just think today is all that there is, or this year, or this decade. Well, God is eternal. Knowing that God is everlasting or eternal can encourage us in several ways. I'm going to share briefly 4 ways. Number 1, knowing that God is eternal can help us have an eternal perspective. It can prompt us to ask ourselves, and let me invite you to ask yourself, am I trying to please God throughout the day, or am I simply focused on being successful or happy? I find it so easy to slip into trying to be successful at this task or that task or whatever, for the church, for other things I do around the home, fixing the sprinkler system, whatever. Or I can get focused on being happy and thinking about what I'm going to do tonight or this weekend. Those are okay things to think about, but is that our main focus? Knowing that God is eternal can help us have an eternal perspective and realize what we do really matters. Number 2, knowing God is eternal can keep us humble. It reminds us that our strength comes from God. So often I think about what I accomplished or what I didn't accomplish too. But I think, look what I was able to do. And this truth that God is eternal helps remind me that God is all powerful and that I need to give him credit for giving me the strength in the first place, but also just try to keep in step with the Spirit so I can be doing the things he wants me to do. A third way that knowing God is eternal can help us is that it comforts us. It helps us remember that God is with us no matter what. No matter what you're going through, God is there. It could be sickness, it could be relationship problems, but God is there to be with you. I love 1 Peter 5:7, and let me just kind of make it personal. I can cast my anxieties on God, knowing that he cares for me. You can cast your anxieties on God, knowing that he cares for you. He is eternal. He is always there. He's always with you. And then number 4, knowing God is eternal can strengthen us. It reminds us that when we keep in step with the Spirit, we can do amazing things. So again, it's not in my strength or my power, but if I'm close to God, I'm listening to him, I am doing what he wants me to do, he can use me in wonderful ways. And it's exciting. It's a privilege. But the moment I slip into doing it in my own strength, well, things don't work out the same way at all. Okay, let's wrap it up. God is eternal. He is everlasting. And there are 4 ways I've just shared that this can help us. Knowing God is eternal helps us have an eternal perspective. Knowing God is eternal keeps us humble. Knowing God is eternal comforts us. And knowing God is eternal strengthens us. Let me close with this quick verse from Psalm 90, verse 2, and then we'll wrap this up. Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever you had formed the earth and the world, from everlasting to everlasting, you are God. May God bless you guys.